Very few people on YouTube have made videos about this cruiser, and I hope it makes it into the algorithm. And I have hypothetically, accidentally on purpose, made this video from a suggestion, and thanks for that. I looked into it, and such rich history being overshadowed. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video made by me, and this time about HDMS Niels Juel, a Danish training cruiser in the 1900s. I think I said that correctly. You don't know about it? That is expected, so sit around and enjoy as I will tell you a story, one worth telling. Before the First World War, Denmark had originally planned a monitor, but then was turned into a training cruiser. Niels Juel was originally supposed to be an improved version of the Peter Skram, a Herluftrolle class coastal defense ship. I think I said those names correctly. The ship was laid down in 1914, launched in 1918, paused due to World War I, and commissioned in 1929. And also the causes for the severe delay in construction of the ship were the lack of labor and resources, and that's why she was never launched until after the First World War had ended. Seeing the reports from battles between the British and German naval forces in 1917, that caused the Danes to change the secondary armament to 4.7-inch or 120mm guns. They also added an extra deck to the existing design, changed the main armament to 5.9-inch or 149.9mm guns, and politicians at that time believed that 12-inch or 304.8mm guns would have been seen as provocative by neighboring nations. The new design was approved, and the ship was completed in 1923. The length of HDMS Niels Juel was about 250 feet or 90 meters, the beam was around 53 feet or 16 meters, the draft was around 16 feet or 5 meters below the waterline, and the total displacement was around 3,861 tons. 10 main guns with a caliber of 5.9 inches or 150 millimeters, with 3 guns arranged on each side, 1 super firing over the aft gun, and 2 forward side by side. 2 of 2.2 inch or 57 millimeters AA artillery, and 2 17.7 inch or 450 millimeter torpedo tubes. Main belt armor was around 6 inches to around 7 inches or 155 to 195 millimeters thick. Deck armor was around 2 inches or 55 millimeters thick. Turret armor was 2 inches or 50 millimeters thick, and conning tower armor is around 6 inches or 170 millimeters thick. The power plants were 4 Yarrow boilers, 2 triple expansion steam engines, and 2 shafts. The power output was 6,000 horsepower, top speed was around 14 knots, cruising range was around 6,000 nautical miles at a speed of 9 knots. Damn, this thing was slow, but I don't blame anyone because, to be fair, there were material shortages and labor shortages. When the ship was being launched in 1918, she was stuck on the slipway for like over an hour until the ship would be freed of that and slip into the water. In 1923, HDMS Niels Juel made her first training cruise by visiting Dartmouth in the UK, Cadiz in Spain, Madeira in Portugal, the Cape Verde Islands, while en route to South America. Then onto the return voyage, a serious storm broke the rudder, and then the ship had to be only steered using the propellers. The ship only returned to Denmark after being repaired in Plymouth. Another training cruise was to the Mediterranean in 1929, where the ship visited ports in France, Spain, Italy, Libya, and in Lisbon, Portugal. Then after that, she resumed her position as flagship of the training squadron. Operation Safari was about since the increasing resistance within Denmark to German rule, and then martial law was imposed, the German army moved to take control of the Danish fleet in Copenhagen harbor. Niels Juel was in Holbach, and then was ordered to set sail for Sweden. The Germans spotted the ship only after she departed port. Before exiting the Isefjord, the captain of Niels Juel was then informed that the Germans claimed to have mined the exit and spotting 3 German ships in the distance, torpedo boat T-17 and 2 E-boats. Aircraft attacked HDMS Niels Juel, both strafing and bombing, but no bombs hit the ship. But the shock damage from the near misses did knock out electrical power, as well as deforming the hull plating and some bulkheads. When the captain of Niels Juel, Captain Karl Westermann, then realized that there could be no way in hell the Germans would ever let them reach Sweden, so he decided to run the ship aground near Nyköping-Sjælland. I think I said that correctly. The crew tried to scuttle the ship, but that failed. They tried to flood the compartments, the magazine, and flooding the rest of the ship, and destroyed the equipment before the ship fell under German control. The Germans then used a German company to have Niels Juel salvaged and then towed to Kiel for repairs. She then was disarmed and renamed to Nordland, and then became a stationary training ship in Stolpmunde, which is now Ustka in Poland. Then Nordland steamed to Kiel to avoid the advancing Soviet forces. And then in the 3rd of May in 1945, she was scuttled for the second time in the Eckernförde Inlet. The wreck of the ship was then dismantled by salvagers without authorization before the Danes sold the ship to a German firm in 1952 for scrap. Everything above the seabed was removed, but the rest of it still lies under 92 feet or 28 meters of water. A new ship named HDMS Niels Juel was built during the Cold War, but then was scrapped in 2013. And then, the newest and most recent ship bearing her name, HDMS Niels Juel, was now reborn this time as a third member of her current Iver Huitfeldt class frigates, I think I said that correctly, with the Royal Danish Navy. Still in service to this day, and you may change depending on when you've watched this video. And that, my friends, is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. And you can suggest video ideas in the comments below, and I will hypothetically, accidentally, on purpose, make a video on it. I'll see you next time.